And we're back with Crone's Crucible. Welcome to you all. Thank you for dropping by. We are in Waterdeep, up to our ears in Waterdeep, I think, as they're trying to get stuff going. How's the week been outside of your ill cats? Lynn, how's the week been for everybody? Thorny. Been cutting roses? I was close. Nifty. That's great.
A player to play a silver dragon.
Dragonborn.
Okay, there we go.
But you need certain things, and they, and like I said, she's about like 11, 12 maybe. So I'm pretty sure the DM is like, yeah, you want to be more dragon than human? Go for it.
That's great. So she's going to trick or treat as her D&D character. I wonder what I would play as.
That's great.
I just thought that was actually fun, and we came up with a lot of really cool ways that she can get silver scales through body paint, and ironically enough, like fishnet stockings. Because if you spray paint it just right on the fishnets, you can actually body paint the scales onto your own skin.
Yeah.
So you don't
that would give the pattern.
Yeah. Didn't even think about that.
Did you say what class she was?
I don't remember. I think she might have been sorcerer, but like
solid choice.
I don't want to give too much away about her character, only because personal. But she went into the whole spiel as to like what happened, and I say Dragonborn because this is the only way I can explain it, because there's a little bit of evil wizard motif going in there, dealing with what happened to her character. But she was really cute, and she was really cute and really creative, and her and her mom, who was there with her, were having a lot of fun pulling together this outfit.
Well, that's just awesome to be able to do that.
Take note, boys and girls at home. D&D is normal now. We rule now. The nerds are in control.
Yes, nerd power. Yeah, I've been a nerd since before it was considered fashionable. So now I'm right in. It just took me 7 years.
Gen 1.
All right, Kyle is back now. Let me adjust his picture real quickly here, because I didn't have a picture to work with. I didn't have a leg to stand on. There we go. Now we got a face instead of just a beard. Okie doke. So when we left off last time, the party was spreading out across Waterdeep, trying to figure out ways they could drum up quite a bit of money. Like, it sounds like it's going to be at least 1,500 gold, or dragons as they call it, to repair this rundown tavern and residence manor.
Oops, sorry.
And they were trying to figure out ways that they were going to do that. So let's review what the various people did. Rel and Epiphany went off to visit some people that they knew to see if they could get any any help? You didn't arrange any loans, did you? You just looked into other things. So they found out that there was a small bounty that was up to find somebody who had been killing elf and half-elf sailors down in the dock ward. Then Cashin went to some of his old guard buddies that are in an organization, and he found out that they needed somebody to do a rather dangerous climb to go reach a contact. He's going to see about doing that. The shepherd went off to another place and found out there was a missing horse, which they gave him some very strange information about the horse being needed for information. And he's not quite sure what they mean. But he's to contact the horse's owner and see what he can drum up there. Now, meanwhile, Nokri went off in the area around Trollskull Manor and found a carpenter, apparently pretty good carpenter, who came over, gave her some rather large figures for what it was going to take to rebuild the entire facade and a lot of the holes and things and replace windows and everything, and has agreed to take up starting to work on the very beginning of it. And so he's going to be coming over the next morning to start working on it. And once again, I can hear my voice coming back. It might be Brett's sensitive earphones again. We'll see.
Sensitive microphone?
Yeah, your microphone picking up your ear. Still seems pretty loud. I don't know. Anyway.
Darn you and your high-tier equipment.
So she's got that in it. Now, the group was still wanting to kind of rest up and be prepared for the night's work. So the last I heard, you guys were going to take kind of a late afternoon nap and then start in on some of these things, like the stuff down in the dock ward. You were going to start late in the evening or at night. Am I correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were going to take a quick hour-long rest, just the quickest short rest we could, just to avoid any type of exhaustion following the morning to come, and we were then going to head toward the docks as soon as possible.
All right. Who all is going to the docks?
Well, despite Cashin being able to see at night, so it wouldn't be a problem, he's going to go to the docks with them and wait for his little thing in the morning.
All right. Who else is going with Trillian and Epiphany?
I was going to go, realizing it's like, oh yeah, nighttime. The one time I play a character that can't see in the dark.
Test.
Yeah, that's it. Let me test mine. I'm not hearing me now. Nope, I'm not coming back now.
Woohoo!
Test. I don't hear my voice. Okay, sounds like you got it.
By Jove, I think we have it.
Very good. Okie doke. Basically, they have gotten some information. There was a note sent to them and so forth regarding some additional information that was scraped up regarding this. They know that there have already been 3 bars that some elves or half-elves were at, and that when they left these bars, they were attacked and killed, very brutal murders. And they don't know exactly what's going on. However, they were given 3 names of the bars where that this person has apparently already struck. They were the Sleeping Wench, the Bloody Fist, and the Thirsty Sailor had already been struck.
Test.
Yep.
Hello?
Sorry. Okay. For some reason, my headphones just cut out.
Oh.
All right. Sorry. Continue.
So, and now I can hear my voice. Oh well. Anyway, we'll go on. They know that these are down in the dock ward. They know that it's the area of Fish Street and various things that these bars are on. They're very near the docks themselves. Let me put you over on the Waterdeep map to identify where we're talking about here. The dock ward is here. Sure, our pictures are up here. And they all scattered throughout the area where, let me get arrows so you can see them better. Basically, the areas that seem to have been struck are in this kind of area here that you've heard about them being places being hit when you are able to identify the general area. So this would be where you would want to go.
Are we supposed to be able to see the map?
Yes, you are. It would help if I moved the ribbon. Thank you. No, I did move. Oh no. Just look. I moved it onto the wrong thing. I see what I did. Okay, that looked too much alike. Okay, anyway, let me do that again so you know where I said it seems to be framed in this area here, like that they're saying that these attacks have been in that general area. So they kind of direct you into that section of the dock ward. How are you going to approach this? What do you plan on doing?
Do either Epi... do either Epi or Rel have a map? Actually, that would
Yes.
be us. Okay. So yeah, we would... As soon as we're rested and out the door, we'd be perusing the map, and we'd probably be talking to each other in our minds.
Does Cashin have any input of what he would do?
He would try and cross-reference with any of the sewer entrances or any other areas which is known for having criminal activity.
You do remember that there are, all through the dock ward, there's quite a few of the sewer covers. That's one of the areas that has more of them than other areas. You don't particularly remember any pattern where there are more or less sewer openings in this particular area than any other. So there's nothing that you can get there.
Fane Leaper, are you aware of any other tavern in this area besides the one that is identified as the Angry Coxswain?
What?
Are you aware of any other tavern in the dock ward that follows this pattern? And he outlines kind of where the current stuff has been happening. The only other tavern in the path would be this direction.
Well, he knows what he said. He just doesn't know what he meant by the angry what?
The Angry Coxswain.
Coxswain. There's a bar down there.
It sounds dirty, but it's not.
I was gonna say, I think I heard something that wasn't supposed to be there.
Get your minds out of the gutter, people. I mean, seriously.
Hey.
That whole ward is a gutter.
Look,
That
no
is
one's
very
insulting my
rude.
permanent residence of living space.
Anyway, what would Cashin know?
All of you would remember that certainly that the Skewered Dragon that you went to is down in the dock ward area. It's one of the taverns that exist down here. And you got the three names, the Sleeping Wench, the Bloody Fist, the Thirsty Sailor, that have already been hit. Cashin, give me a...
It can't be the dragon. We've already been there this campaign.
Cashin, give me a 1d6 roll, and I'll tell you what else you know. You know that there is a tavern that tends to cater to elves that is named Saloon Smile. However, you do know that that one is not open at night, only open during the day.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Sound
Yeah, I definitely.
Just a wee bit, but not like too bad.
It will simply add to the ambiance.
I might suggest that you go examine the various places and start seeing what they have in common and so forth.
Yeah.
DM, our cameras are off.
Well, they are. I had an overlay. Thank you for noticing that. Let me get back to it.
Yep.
I don't know why you jumped off, but we did.
Perhaps we should start at the sleeping wench.
Follow the trail, as it were.
Now, the big question is that there are three locations and three of us, but there is somebody who wishes people harm, so perhaps it would be wise if we clung together.
Oh, absolutely. Who's with us right now?
Cashin.
Just Cashin?
I thought I went with you guys, but...
Oh, okay.
No, you said you couldn't see at night, so you are with them?
Yeah. I said I was going to go.
We would enjoy having your large, sharp body in front of us.
I was like, damn, I forgot I can't see in the dark.
Here in the dark.
So the only one we don't have is our healer. This can't end badly at all.
Yeah, the healer's going off by himself, which may not be a good idea either.
Yeah, no duh. So why aren't you with us again?
Because I have to go find a horse.
At night?
Wait till morning?
No, I can't wait till morning.
Liar.
He's got to go interview Mr. Ed.
Stamp 3 times if you have the answer. What?
Anyway, so what time would you say, like, we got to the manor, we rested up for the shortest hour we possibly could, then we booked it towards the docks. What time would you say we arrive at the dock ward?
Probably about 7 p.m. It's getting dark right now.
Oh, that's freaking perfect. Yeah, so, yeah, they would be headed towards the place where the first murder happened, and on their way there, Relion would actually look at Cashin and say, So Cece, this murderer, he's going after those with elven bloods. Half-elves seem to be a particular favorite of his, and you're a half-elf.
Cashin ain't gonna respond to that.
I mean,
well, it
could be really useful right now. He starts poking him.
Are you trying to use him
responding.
as bait?
Can you spell bait?
Look,
it's delicious now. We are going to the dogs. Could we stop at the fish cut court?
And Abby, I don't want you to spoil your dinner again. Have you eaten your cockroaches?
No.
You don't get fish heads until you finish your cockroaches.
Oh my god.
But we are running low.
I'll get some later, if you're good, and we kill this bastard who's killing elves.
Oh my god.
So Cece, is that a yes or a yay or a nay on the whole? Because you know what they say, you can't spell bait without Cashin.
Jesus Christ.
He ain't saying a thing.
Okay, I guess that's a no. Okay, leave the bait to me. I've got an idea. As usual.
Cashin, I know that is not exactly the most delicate of speakers, but honestly, if by any chance you would happen to volunteer for this, I would feel much better about someone being able to put up a fight versus someone who may get quickly shanked.
Well, first, I just have to point out that I will not respond to that ridiculous nickname.
What ridiculous nickname?
Sometimes I feel that humoring people is far easier than fighting them.
Well, I'll humor him if he's actually funny.
You know what I mean, my good sir. You know what I mean.
And Epiphany stomps up and says, "We would like to avoid further bloodshed of those who share your kinship. Would you be willing to assist us in this endeavor?"
I'm going to assist regardless. I just will not respond to that name.
Fine. I'll come up with something even more clever. In the meantime, don't worry about. In the meantime, don't even worry about the whole bait thing. I think I've got an even better idea. Oh, look, we're almost to the tavern.
The first tavern, was it the Sleeping Winch? Yeah, the first one was the Sleeping Winch that they mentioned. You find right here, where this number 1 is on the map.
Is it busy at all? Is it still is it
yes.
business?
There's quite a bit of business in it. Sailor types, very typical of the area, and there are quite a number of customers already in the tavern. It's a reasonably good-sized tavern, larger than the Skewered Dragon, and certainly in better shape than the Skewered Dragon was.
Wow.
You notice that there are there's alleyways near the building that go off in a couple of directions. It's easy to access it from a back center court area as well as from the main Adder Lane where it's located.
Wow, look at this place. You'd never suspect there was a murder here a week ago.
To whom do you say that?
Just quietly to the group.
You notice that there are very few individuals in the tavern right now of any degree of elven blood. It might be that they are staying away from it because of it.
Well, there probably won't be any victims tonight, Cashin says quietly, from here anyway. But let's see.
We will be with you.
There's any clues. And Cashin is going to investigate the area. Discreetly.
You guys investigate the area. I'm going to see if what few elven blood that still runs through this place has anything to say.
Very good. So are you going to talk to one of the patrons or the barkeep, or what are you going to do?
What's the barkeep look like?
He's reasonably capable-looking individual. He's not your fat, greasy type like in the Skewered Dragon. And he's quite busily handing out mugs of ale and what have you to various people. There's also some simple fare of bread and cheese kind of things, and he's busy handing it out to a couple of tavern wenches that are running back and forth with large trays.
Does either he or any of the tavern wenches look like they might have some elven blood in them?
No, neither he nor the two wenches do.
Alright, well, might as well. You know what, I'll try my luck to see if any of the patrons look like they have some blood in them.
Give me a d20 roll, please. Yep, you can see a couple of guys that are sitting at a table together that look like they may have at least partial elf blood in them. Neither one of them are full elf blood, but they do seem to have a little bit of elf blood.
Aurelian's going to slide up towards the table, sit himself down, and say in his friendliest voices, "Hello there, chaps, what you drinking?"
They kind of look you up and down rather suspiciously. You're not exactly the appearance that engenders a lot of confidence. They look you up and down. Who's asking?
Just your common passerby who's looking for an answered question or two, and perhaps someone who's looking to make a few friends in the area. He raises his hand and says, "Barkeep, another round of whatever these fine gents are drinking on me, please."
Oh. Well, that's mighty nice of you. Now, just what do you have in it for you?
Nothing that'll cost you too much. No hair off your chest, skin off your back, nothing like that. No, sir, no, sir. What I'm looking for is something that won't cost you a single dragon or a single copper in the long run. I'm just looking for a bit of information, a few answers, as it were.
I'm going to ask for a general number on something. Over the course of the evening, between drinks or anything else that you do, what amount of money do you plan on spending on lubricating the tongues of the people that you speak to?
What's the normal cost of a good drink? A good hard drink?
It runs anything from 10 silvers up to a gold for the really hard stuff.
Let's say about a gold, so that's 50 silver to each of them. That's enough for 5 decent drinks between them.
Okay, so you're spending a total of a gold on these gentlemen?
Yes.
They take the drink and kind of salute to you with their tankard, and they say, "Thank you very much. Now, what is it that you wish to know?"
Well, as 2 fine, upstanding gentlemen like yourselves no doubt heard, the dock ward has come under attack, come under assault, come under fire, frenzy, as it were, over some, he leans in, killings of a certain blood type?
They have, and we've been very cautious since then. Been happening for a few nights, dead of night, when it's dark in the alleys behind the bars.
Well, you see, the people I represent, as well as a few friends I have with me, as well as myself, are very interested in finding the one who's been perpetrating these heinous acts, these vile deeds, these horrible, horrible misdemeanors. I have some elven and half-elven relatives myself, and frankly, this whole bad business just sickens me, turns my stomach. And I was wondering if the 2 of you might have heard anything or seen anything, or might know somebody who might be in the know.
Well, last I heard, people who go flapping their lips to strangers might be the ones that wind up dead in the alley. How do I know you ain't the one that's been killing our kind? Give me a persuasion roll.
You got it.
Oh, very nice persuasion. What are you going to say to them about whether or not you're the stranger that's killing people?
My good sir, maybe you didn't listen to me before, but I've got friends and family back in Silvery Moon that share the ancient blood. I would never do such a thing, never kill without just cause or in self-defense. Why, sir, you insult me. You insult me! You insult me!
No, we didn't want to go causing any trouble. But can't be too careful these days. I don't want to wind up like the others. Hole right through their skull to us. A hole, a big hole right through their skull.
Now, when you say hole, what do you mean by that? Do you mean something made by a weapon, a spell, a claw, a fang?
It looked just like somebody took a drill to their skull.
That is quite interesting and quite disturbing. That's not natural. No, sir. No, sir. I know a few things about natural and unnatural. Heck, I'm unnatural myself, and that's not natural. No, sir.
It's strange stuff, I tell you. stuff you shouldn't be fiddling with, dangerous stuff. We don't know what's happening, whether it's magic or some new weapon. We don't know. It's terrible what happened to him.
If memory serves, and you'll have to forgive me, my memory often doesn't serve, this was the first place hit, if I'm not mistaken, about a week ago. Yes, no, yes?
Yes, this was the first one, and then they went down to the Bloody Fist, down closer to the docks, down on Fish Street. And another one down in them dark alleys, and somebody walks home in the dark alleys, and something jumps them in the dark.
Not right at all. Well, again, going back a bit to my other question, you lot wouldn't happen to know anybody who might know a bit more than your good selves, would you?
I don't know, maybe some of the other inns would have a little bit more. It's just a matter of, we don't any of us know where they're going to strike next, and we're all pretty nervous about it. We gotta be careful about walking in dark alleys.
Meanwhile, in the dark alley outside, Epiphany is going to go sniffing around, looking to see if he can actually find the murder location.
It looks like things have been remarkably cleaned up, as if somebody went through and cleaned up the murder scene. Give me a perception roll if you have any pluses on Epiphany for smelling things or anything. I don't know if he has any.
Yeah, I mean, I could do like a animal survival scent or something.
Yeah, and I'll give you advantage considering who you are.
Taste the air with your tongue. Smell the air with your tongue. This one meant like a snake.
You come across an area behind this alleyway that's alongside the thing. This alleyway that goes back. This alleyway that goes back in this direction. When you come into this area back here, you can smell that there was blood here, but it's been cleaned up. It takes you a little bit of looking around, especially in the dark, but you are able to detect a little bit of a stain in one of the intersections of two alleyways back behind the buildings.
And what would Cashin find since he's with him?
You're with Epiphany?
Yeah.
You would note that there's one alleyway that goes straight through to Narrows Walk, and then there's the smaller, very narrow alleyway between buildings. And as you look at it, give me a perception roll, and I'll tell you how much you can see. You'll be able to detect a little bit. Let me see how much. You can notice that this small alley that crosses it, there's some crates and some barrels and things back behind that are like pickled herring and things that the inn uses. And it would have been a very good ambush point for someone to jump out at another individual as they walk through to the back or main alley.
Cashin is going to go down that narrow way
as he does so, Epiphany is going to establish a mental connection with him and just say, "If something happens, speak to me in your mind."
For a moment, Cashin starts as he just shudders and is like, so this is what you two are doing when you're acting all quiet.
We apologize, but it would be more subtle this way. You have an interesting mind.
Don't peer any deeper than you need to.
I can only hear what you send me. For now.
Well, Cashin is going to, in fact, investigate the narrow way.
It goes through to these larger, either small streets, narrow streets, or large alleyways that are back in various tenement and residence areas in the back. It would be very reasonable to assume that the elf who was murdered was probably cutting through to a residence somewhere back in this area.
But could Cashin find anything about the murderer themselves? Any sort of clue?
No, you don't see anything that indicates anything except for this area that looks like it would have been a very reasonable place to have been hiding and waiting for the individual to come by and jump out at them. It looks like they probably laid in ambush.
Well, Cashin's just gonna come back out and report his findings to Epiphany silently, telepathically.
Very good.
This appears to be the actual death location. Is there anything around here that you can see? I am ill-equipped in searching in such manners.
Only that whoever was here must have been waiting.
If it an ambush, then are there any underground sewer entrances near here?
Good question. Is there?
Yes, there would be. You would find in most of these, I'll call them blocks, but they're larger than blocks. They're like a community within a community. There's an entryway into sewers in almost every one of these grouped courtyard areas that these buildings, if you'll notice, they're all made where they're, like this area.
Mm-hmm. So there's like one here, and there'll be one in here, and
yeah,
then one in here.
Yeah, exactly. This area here would have had one, and so forth. There seems to be one in just about every one of these groupings. There would be a sewer opening.
Well, Cashin is going to try and find that sewer opening.
How far back and how many minutes are you going to look?
Only for like a few minutes, 3 to 4.
Give me an investigation roll, please. You aren't able to remember from your time here where the one is here. You know there is one somewhere in this twisting serpent area of streets, but you just aren't able to come up with exactly where it is. You know there is one somewhere in that zone, but there's just so many twisting streets you can't locate that particular one.
Well, by the time he's done trying to look, hopefully Rel would be back with his information.
Are you going to head back to the tavern, or are you going to remain in the street?
We should collect friend Relian and investigate the next location.
Meanwhile, Relian is just, he's just laughing and sauntering out of the tavern, waving at his new friends. You guys are great. Now remember, goats are like mushrooms. If you shoot them, they become scared of ducks.
I'm just going to be standing
those guys are
across
great.
the way.
I'm glad Cashin's not there to hear that.
I am standing across the way as Brilliant walks out, hearing that, and just slowly face palming.
Those guys are great. Gotta invite them to our tavern once it's all fixed up.
Yes, but let's solve this and then figure out where to go from there.
And Cashin, by the time arrives with Epiphany.
Those of you who have been around a while either remember, although you may not have frequented it much, but looking on the map and various legends that indicate taverns and various things, you notice that the second of the tavern, which is the Bloody Fist, is down here at this location, right here. So this is the Bloody Fist.
Well, as they walk there, Cashin will quietly relay his and Epiphany's findings. Whoever killed these people must have patience to wait long enough to get the drop on them.
Well, if they're being, let's just say, if they're being paid to do these things, then obviously they would have plenty of patience.
What did you learn, Rel?
Interesting. Not overly helpful, but apparently this was indeed the first place struck at night, so at least our intel is good. Apparently the murders happened, or at least this murder happened quite late at night, possibly around midnight or maybe even later, and apparently from what the rumors say, all the victims have been killed with a single attack, I want to call it, with just a single hole in their head.
That's interesting.
We are curious now.
And nothing else?
Who spoke of this to you?
These very nice two half-elven gentlemen that I got completely sloshed.
Oh, so they are no longer suitable sources of information. Very well, shall we continue to the next location?
Either that or skip to the final one where I know the murder is still fresh. From what I understand, the final point of our little journey here, the murder happened just last night, so the guards might still be poking around.
Good point. We may pick up something fresher there.
Yes, let's just
The
go
question
there.
becomes, here's another side of the coin. Do we want to have our faces showing up around the guards investigating this openly?
The guards will just see normal citizens walking around. They have no proof that we're investigating anything. We don't have to ask them anything. We can just ask people around them.
We can just
I will still hang back and away from you guys. Call it a hunch.
Well, if you want, we could, since it's not quite dark yet and we're not quite in danger yet, to save time, we could split up. Epi and myself could head over to the latest murder happenings, while you and Cece here could see what anything is going on here in the middle ground.
At least call me Cash.
You're not made of money.
If we're all lucky, we will be eventually.
You can't win, Cassie. You can't win.
Well, Cashin is going to take the freedom of no longer being near Aurelian for the time being.
Bye, Cece. I love you, babe.
We have suspicions on what this may be, friend Aurelian, and we are not enjoying it. Let us investigate.
Okay.
To the blood scene.
So Epiphany and Aurelian are going to this location here, right? And then Cashin and Nakri are going to this one?
Yeah, Rel's going to the latest one. We're going to the second one.
Okay, so number 2 is this one right here. Number 3 is this one right here. All right. So we'll start with number 2 and what Nakri and Cashin find. What are you going to do and how are you going to approach it? Are you going to spend any money? If so, how much? Or what techniques are you going to use if you're not going to try bribing or talking them up that way?
Well, Cashin's first going to go inside and scope it out.
It is a very rowdy place. It's noisy, very hard to hear over the loud clinking sounds of glasses. It's quite crowded, being down very close to the dock as it is. Quite crowded, one of the first bars that they come to when they come up onto the dock area. And it's the kind of place where by 7 o'clock in the evening, half the patrons in the bar are already sliced beyond knowing their own name and are making various questionable comments at the waitresses and what have you, and falling under the table. They've obviously been drinking since mid-afternoon, and it's a very loud place.
Well, Cashin's gonna make his way to the barkeep. Hopefully, it's a barkeep he remembers. He probably doesn't because he's drunk half the time.
Um,
Especially when he's in these places.
Give me a d20 roll on just a straight d20 roll, C13 to see. No, this isn't one that you know.
Ah, well. Cashin goes to the barkeep and tries to chat him up.
Good evening, sir. Can I get you a drink?
Oh, you can get me a drink or two, but in exchange for a pretty coin, I want to pick your brain a little.
Now, just what do you mean by that?
Well, Cashin's gonna try and be quiet now, and he says, do you know anything about the murder the other night?
Murder. When you say you're picking my brain, you don't mean like knocking a hole in it, right?
I do not mean that at all, sir. Just a poor choice of words.
It was terrible what happened to Ezra. Just terrible.
Well, so what do you know about Ezra?
Well, he would come here all the time. He was a regular customer, he was. He spent a lot of money here. We'd see him here almost every night. And last few nights, he's been jolly talking up various people and so forth, at least the last few nights before his death. And I don't know, something was strange that night. He seemed worried somehow. And he decided to leave earlier than usual. I'm not sure if he was going to meet somebody or what. He left early and he got jumped in the alleyway back behind.
So on the attack, did you hear anything when it happened?
Well, now that you mention it, it was odd. It was, well, there was a sound like somebody hitting a drum, now that you think of it.
And did you go out to investigate?
Not at the time, no. It wasn't until later that people came rushing in and screaming that Ezra was dead and that the guards were coming.
So did you investigate it? Was there anything odd besides the obvious?
I didn't go out there, no. The guards were all over the place, swarming the place, trying to find stuff out. They carried poor Ezra off, and it's just like, there's all these taverns in the dock ward, 10 of the taverns in the dock ward. Why'd they have to pick on us? The Bloody Fist don't cause no trouble, in spite of our name. I don't see why they picked on us.
Yeah, I don't know why, but this place has its fair share of troubles. But anyway, backtracking a little, what was it that Ezra was talking about before the night of his murder?
I said that there was some trouble, and, well, let me think. He said there was some fella was gonna help him get out of the trouble he was in. He seemed really concerned.
Well, guess they weren't all that much help.
I don't know if that was the fellow what killed him or he was on his way to meet the person. I don't know.
Did they mention any names?
No, not that I can remember. Something about, though, they had a lot of power at their back and they could help him.
Interesting. And is that all?
That's just about all I can remember. I mean, it just took us by surprise. We weren't expecting it, and nothing seemed to happen. It was back there in the dark, and by the time it had happened, it was too late to think back to what had gone on.
Well, Cashin gives the barkeep a pat on his back and gives him 2 coins.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hey, speaking of that, he did say something about now what was it? Zabrindus.
Zabrindus.
Don't know rightly how that's spelled. Odd name, Zabrindus. Don't know what it means. Maybe that's the group.
Would Cashin have any idea what that means?
Nope, it's as unintelligible to you as it is to the barkeep.
So definitely not Elvish or anything.
Nope, not that you can tell, not unless it's something very odd, Elvish.
Well, with that out of the way, Cashin goes back out and reports what he learned to Nokri. Well, whoever killed him, Ezra was plenty scared.
What has Nokri been doing while he was in there?
Most likely just observing, watching. Not much for her to do at the current moment. So.
Yeah, you just see people staggering out, and a few of them walking in, and a few of them staggering in have already had some drinks by the time they get there.
Either way, Cashin wants to investigate the alleyway now.
Very good. There, like the previous place, there is a narrow alley that goes back to the center area. It's very similar to what the other one had, where you can go back into more like a residential sort of district in the back. The storefronts all seem in this town to be on the outer, more major streets, with the residences more inward on the blocks.
Well, Cashin's gonna try and investigate.
Give me an investigation roll. With the background that you had at the previous place and the things that Epiphany pointed out to you at the time, you note that once again there is a very similar pattern of this narrow alleyway going back and crossing another alleyway that has a lot of crates and stairways and things where people could hide behind. Would have made, once again, a good ambush point. There's even some wooden stairways going up to upper stories of the tenements and things where someone could have even jumped down from if they wanted to. That clearly there seems to be a pattern of needing an ambush spot on these.
Whoever they are, they're good.
Well, there's a few ways a person like that can move around.
Yeah, the oddest
spells, wall, if they have any ability to climb walls, rooftop travel. I mean, I think the buildings are, what I saw on the map, buildings are fairly close enough that they could traverse the rooftop and jump down.
Well, unless anyone has heard anything about people jumping on their roofs, I'm not sure if that's a good angle. But what really concerns me is this weapon.
Well, without seeing the entry point of the injury itself, we've got no clue.
Pretty loud weapon. Once you use it, you have to run away.
What if it isn't the weapon making the noise?
I don't see why it couldn't be.
Well, I mean, just thinking.
Well, let's see what the other two have for us. See if we can put our information together.
Well, if they've managed to come across and see the body, then we'll have an answer there.
All right, now we'll swap to Rel and Epiphany. What are you doing in door number 3, the Thirsty Sailor?
Is there any evidence of the guards still being out and about? Is it open for business? Is the murder scene still open?
All right, the bar is open for business. You don't see any immediate evidence of any crime being committed. However, at the big cross street here at Ship Street and Fish Street, you do notice that there are a couple of guards patrolling slowly down the streets, kind of looking down the alleyways and paying attention more to people. They could be a regular patrol, or it could be because there have been the murders in the area.
Friend Relian, perhaps it would be best if I simply maintain contact and avoid being seen.
If you want, Epi, I'm not one to turn down a good idea, and if you think this is a good idea, then it's a good idea. It sounds like a good idea to me. I'll go in and work my usual savoir-faire, my usual charm. You stay out here and see if there's anyone suspicious lurking about.
Very well.
And you took the gold off of your sheet that you spent at the last one, right?
I did.
And then through the connection, he's going to say, be sure to see if you could ask about the condition of the corpse after it was slain.
Of course. Good thinking, Epi, good thinking. You might just get those fish heads after all.
We will get the fish heads regardless.
Oh, someone's getting uppity. Fine, I'll talk to you in a bit.
Wow.
So how much gold do you intend to throw around at the Thirsty Sailor?
Oh, it depends on who's about here. Do I see another half-elven sailor, or is it... Actually, you know what? It'd probably be more advantageous to talk to the barkeep this time, so not spending any gold yet.
All right. Good evening, sir. May I serve you a drink?
Maybe something light. I need to keep my senses about me, but in the meantime, sir, I was wondering if I could, ask you a few questions, make a little small talk, pass the time, as it were.
You're here about that dead elf. I have answered so many questions in the last day and a half. I'm not really very thrilled. What are you, some undercover guard? I told them everything I know.
My good sir, you told them everything they asked, but they might not have asked the right questions. As for who I am, I'm just a concerned party. Although I'm not a half-elf or an elf myself, I still have some of the ancient blood in me, and I have a few friends here's about. I don't want anything to happen to them. No, sir. But I am representative of an organization who would like to see this dastardly villain brought to justice one way or another. Yes, sir. So, just one or two questions, my good sir, while I wait for that drink, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course. What do you have in mind? And he thuds a tankard of rather light, cheap ale on the counter and says 10 silver.
My good sir.
2 silver, excuse me.
My good sir, you're too kind. He places 5 silver on the counter.
That'll get you halfway to nowhere. What do you want to know?
Is it so bad to tip a friendly fella like yourself? But what I want to know, sir, is a few things. One, who happened to be the unlucky victim last night?
I don't rightly know the fellow. He'd come in, well, I imagine he'd come in twice. Not a regular, but he was one of the dock hands off the docks. He said something about the other districts being kind of dangerous, and he wanted to stay out of them. He tried to go to a couple places that were open at night, but like, the hangman, they don't like that kind there, and so he decided to come on over here.
Simple decision, simple decision. So, a nobody, a faceless one, not a regular. Gotcha, gotcha. So, you wouldn't happen to have seen or heard anything last night that was a bit odd, a bit out of the unusual?
Not last night, but the night before. The fella came in, sat down, drank a couple of light rounds, ate a little bit, and then another fellow joined him. White-haired fella.
White-haired. Now, would you say that was natural? Did you get a good look at him?
He was another elf, he was. One of them dark kind.
You don't say. Interesting. You don't see many of those sorts out and about. No, sir, no, sir. I take it he's a newcomer himself, yes?
Oh, yeah. I ain't seen him around at all. He's quite new, and it's no wonder he was out so late at night.
Yes. From what I remember, they don't like the light so much. Interesting. So, talking to a dark elf, as it were, one of those underground types. Interesting. You wouldn't happen to have seen or heard anything unusual about the body, would you, after the sordid deed was done?
Oh, aye. Once people came running in here and started yelling for the guards, I went back to see what was going on. It was like nothing I've ever seen before, nothing at all. The man was just dead, like he'd been walking one moment and not walking the next, and there was this big hole in the side of his head.
Interesting. I've been hearing that quite a lot indeed. You wouldn't happen to know anybody who might know a bit more about this, would you? Anyone in the area that might keep a closer ear to the ground? And I don't mean guard persuasion.
I try to keep my hands clear of the various groups. Getting mixed in with them is likely to get your business shut down or to get fights going. I tell the people here, no fights. I don't care who you belong to and who pays your paycheck. You don't fight here. So I tend to keep my nose out of those sorts. But I'd be willing to bet you somebody from one of them knows.
And off the top of your head, not that I'm saying you're in with any of these groups, no sir, but a savvy businessman like yourself would have to know where one of these gentlefolk might be in the local area, just for safety's sake, of course.
I can't tell you for sure, but the obvious is there right in front of you, as sure as that nose of yours that I can't see.
I have a nose? He reaches into his hood.
He was a dark elf. You know what that means.
Don't like it. Don't like this. Nope, not one bit. Don't like it. Unless I do. Nope, I don't. Well, sir, you've been a great help. Hope to see you under better circumstances. Yes, sir. He gets up from the table, takes the tankard, gives a little cheer, but he walks out, but on his way out, he just sits the tankard down on a random passerby's table.
Roll a persuasion, although that's an odd roll for this one, but roll a persuasion roll.
Okay.
The drunken man looks up and kind of bleary-eyed picks up the tankard. Oh, thank you. I heard you talking to the bartender. I know that the one that died called him Saloon. You know, ain't that funny? Saloon. Just like a bar, a saloon.
What was that? You broke up a little bit for me.
The guy what died called him Saloon.
Saloon. Like a what?
Oh, sounded just like a bar. Like they were going to a bar. I thought it was so funny that he called the guy Saloon.
I see. Good sir. You've been a great help. You drink this, and may your liver be ever strong.
Thank you kindly. Thud. His head hits the table.
I love this town, except when I don't. Bye, everybody.
All right, so where are the four of you going to meet up? Somewhere around Fish Street, I suppose.
Probably across the street from the current tavern we're at.
Yep.
So kind of over in this area somewhere?
Yeah, that looks about right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the group of you meet up here somewhere. The guards have wandered on down. It looks like they're making a big circuit around these various blocks, just walking steadily and watching each one of the taverns as they go by.
Well, I had fun. How about you guys?
Well, from what we understand, the second victim apparently ran into trouble and was looking for protection. Maybe that protection didn't come to help him, or maybe that protection silenced him. Whatever the case, when they were right around when they were murdered, a loud bang was heard. Could have been their weapon of choice.
Now, for those of us native to Waterdeep, could we roll something to connect holes in body and loud banging noises?
In my world, I'm going to say no, because this particular situation, the answer is no.
Okay, fair enough.
In some worlds, the answer would be
yes. Well,
we are comforted by that thought that it was not that there was the loud noise. We are very comforted by that.
Well, bit of old news, what with holes once more in the head. Bit of new news. Apparently, the latest victim was seen talking to, well, elf with dark skin and white hair. Okay, class, bonus points. Who knows what that is?
A drow.
That's right.
Still doesn't explain not only the weapon, but the motive?
No, but it gives us more to go on, and what's more, it gives us a big leap to go on, because drow on the surface don't care what walks of life they come from. They're not usual. People remember seeing a drow, and what's more, one of the drunkards heard, well, either the name of a place or the name of the fella. The victim, before he passed so tragically, called this drow, or mentioned the drow in the same breath as Saloon?
Saloon, the goddess.
Would I have any knowledge of, like, what drow think of, like, other races, because they're not from here?
I can't imagine Epiphany knowing a whole bunch about that. Some of the others might, if they have. I don't know how much he's read history books about the drow.
I mean, he had his dad's house, basically.
Quote unquote dad.
Yeah, you had a lot of books that you read there, I gather. So I guess give me a history check. And anyone else that wants to do so.
It would make sense for Rel. He's from Silvery Moon, which is an elven city.
No, we read other stories, such as see Och, run.
Nope.
See Och, consume.
Cassian, save us.
Cassian's the only one that really knows much, and he knows that although there are few drow in the city, they aren't common at all, and that they stick very much together. They don't necessarily consider other, being half-elf himself, he would know that they don't, give him any preference because he's elf. They consider that a drow is superior to anyone else. He also would know what group the drow tend to cling to in this city.
Yep, and Cassian isn't liking this one bit.
What's that, CC? What don't you like?
He's just determined to call you Cece.
Yeah, Cassian's just going to ignore it for now. Well, the drow, what few drow do live in this city are tightly knit together. They don't like other elves for sure. And they're all part of a group, the name of which I don't want to say out loud.
Whisper it.
Tell it to me, I will transfer it to the rest of the group.
Alright.
He executes a telepathic connection.
And do you remember the name, Allison?
Let's see if I do. 1d2.
Do you actually OOCly remember it?
I know just by pure coincidence who leads it, but I don't exactly recall.
Yeah, it's the Bregendarth.
That's it, Bregendarth.
And Epiphany will transfer that to the group. One person at a time.
Oh, those schmucks.
And Cassian would, by reputation, definitely know that it is run by a particularly arrogant individual known as Jarlax.
Yep, and if anyone has a history book, they would know that Jarlaxle is infamous. Either way, Cassian isn't liking this one bit.
Just because this fella is a drow doesn't mean he might be associated with some of the other drow in the city. He might be a new arrival. It might behoove us to maybe check in with, I don't know, an official maybe down at the dock, see if any drow recently sailed in.
Yes, but you also have to understand this. Just to be certain, did the barkeep say that the drow was a male?
He referred to him as he, so I imagine so.
Well, yes, drow men are not... In drow society, drow men are basically cattle.
Does that apply to when they're up here?
No, if anything, a lot of them want to get up here because they gain a certain level of freedom that they would never find in the Underdark.
Well, that's all fine and dandy. I still think we should talk to an official.
Yeah, let's see what one of the dock masters have to say.
Question. Is there any other tavern, by any chance, on the way going further from here?
Oh yeah, wasn't there one called Saloon something?
Yeah, you knew that there was Saloon Smile that was that did serve elves. So you also are aware of a couple of places that don't. Like it was mentioned by one of them, the Hanged Man doesn't serve elves. But you also know that Saloon Smile is not open at night. It's only open during daylight hours.
Yeah. All right.
So Saloon is closed at night.
So question, in this where I'm pinging right now, is there anything within this area?
There's something in this area. Like, according to the map that I looked at, there is a certain like line that the taverns we visited kind of follow, and there is a tavern around here that would kind of match.
Because from what I'm saying, it's from here to here.
Yeah, I think I think the map you and I were looking at, Sam, is different than.
Very possibly.
Actually, that number 4, it will move around to wherever you guys decide to go next. I meant to keep that off the map and on the ocean, but it wound up there. So I'll just put it out there.
Oh, okay.
That's the 4th visit. So
okay, so we haven't visited.
Between what you know and what you pick up off the map and what you've had people mention to you, you know that there's a total of 10 dock area bars. You know that there's the Skewered Dragon. He said some things when you were in there that he kind of glared at Cashin a bit, didn't seem to like Cashin a whole lot, and a few things. You got a feeling that elves aren't super welcome in that one either, and of course it's an awful run-down piece of junk. There's the Saloon Smile that you talked about. There's the Hanged Man, which doesn't serve elves at all. That's known not to serve elves. There's also the Bearded Mermaid, the Pickled Fisherman, and the Soaring Pegasus Tavern. So and Mule Skull Tavern as well. So you basically need to find out what kind of places these are. It is now you've walked up and down these streets and considered everything. It's getting fairly late at night. It's probably not far before midnight at this point. So let me see if I can. I'll put them in the chat here in Roll20. Oops. Those are the ones that you know in addition to what you've got. Saloon, you can pretty well cross off. It's not a nighttime bar. You don't know anything about the Mermaid. You don't know anything about Mule Skull. You know the Hanged Man doesn't serve elves. And the Pickled Fisherman and Pegasus you don't know anything about either, so you need to find out.
I think we can safely cross off Saloon because it's not open at night, and the Hanged Man because it doesn't serve elves or people with elven blood. So that leaves Mule Skull, the Bearded Mermaid, the Pickled Fisherman, the Dragon, and the Pegasus. Looking at the map, there's 1, 2, and 3, the taverns we've already visited. Are there any pure just taverns in this general area or in this general area?
Yes. The Bearded Mermaid is here, right down by the docks. The Hanged Man is here. The Mule Skull Tavern is down here. Saloons is actually back up here. Pegasus is further down this way here. And the Skewered Dragon that you were at was over to the east. You were in it earlier.
So this one right here next to the docks is the Bearded Mermaid?
Yes.
Since it's getting close to midnight, he says, well, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen soon. We should try to stake out at least one place, and the closest one is the Bearded Mermaid. If we can find out real quick, just from a quick glance, to see if they serve elves. We might be able to set something up real quick before Mr. Hole in the Head decides to make his move.
Okay, so number 4 is the mermaid that you're checking out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk down there, it only takes you a couple of minutes to get down there, and you find the doors closed with a sign hanging on the inside of the window with hours that basically extend through dinner time. And in small letters down below, no Elven.
Okay, so meaning that the closest one that follows some kind of trail would be this one, which would be what?
Okay, that one was the Hanged Man. And that's the one that you know does not serve elves. The Pickled Fisherman, let's see.
Just because they do not serve elves does not mean that an elf is not nearby.
Well, the murderer is specifically targeting elven patrons who visit this place.
Yes.
True. Where's Mule Skull? Is that the one that's further up?
That's the
No,
one,
that's a saloon.
the Mule Skull one is the one that's the next X here. This is Mule Skull right here. And then this one is the Pegasus down here. And the Pickled Fisherman is off down further south.
Alright, so if something's going to happen, it's most likely going to happen at the Mule Skull.
Yeah, so whatever bar area does serve elves that we last visit.
What is this one here? The near Cod Lane?
That's the Pegasus, the Soaring Pegasus.
They are nearby to each other. Perhaps we could divide ourselves accordingly.
That might be a bad idea.
We are not... Do you wish to engage or do you wish to discover? We must decide our objective.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
How about this? I'll continue to stay with Cashin. If he gets attacked, you'll most likely hear it. You can keep up with your ability to reach out to us. Perhaps.
You must be within. You must be close to me. We are, unfortunately, not that skilled.
I see. No worries.
Don't talk like that, Epi. You're a very bright boy.
We are not a boy.
You will be someday.
You want to be a boy, a real boy.
All I can say is, poor Brett. He is a man trying to see about a horse, and yet...
Hey, he's the one who didn't want to come with us.
He made his choice. He made his choices.
Poor as they may be.
He should lie in his bed of hay.
Anyway, I say we skedaddle to the Mule Skull, take a quick glance to see if it's still open, and if we see any elven or half-elven patrons. If we do, we set something up. We just go down the list.
Alright.
Okay. So you head down to a tavern that is open. You do notice that there are some alleyways alongside of the tavern leading back into the residential area, very similar to the other ones that have been in this area. And you also notice that it's a very busy place and that there are quite a few elves coming and going from the place.
Okay, perfect. Yes, that's the place. Great. Okay, I've got an idea.
I have one as well. Vane Leaper, are you aware of any sewer entrances nearby?
Give me your usual perception roll to see if you remember where they are in this one. Yeah, you remember that there's a sewer entrance right about in the center of this block courtyard area.
Mm-hmm. Well, he points that out to them and says, so, what's the plan?
Okay, so just so we're aware, definitely knowing the bait. I want to take your silence as a yes. Okay. Now, we all hide in that alley right there, leading to the sewer entrance. We hide. I can conjure up an image of an elf or a half-elf of some kind, act all drunk, go in a stupor, make some loud noise, and then stumble into said alleyway. Hopefully it'll gather some attention. Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll walk into an ambush.
All right.
All right, so Rel is going to be the one looking like an elf?
No, actually, I'm going to hide in the alleyway with the others, and I'm going to conjure up an image of an elf. Because I have a new spell I get to try out. Yay! So, do we have to roll anything to, like, hide ourselves convincingly in the alley, or...?
Yeah, you'll have to give me a stealth roll.
Everybody roll a stealth roll.
You will not enjoy this.
Yeah, I don't want to stealth.
No, you can just be wandering around, obviously, in the street or something. You don't have to be in stealth. You know, you don't have to be with them. You can just be, like, keeping an eye out at the corner or something.
Very well, friend Aurelia, and we will plaster ourselves against the wall with our tarp.
Yay.
I'm gonna let them do the stealthy stuff. I'm gonna go into the bar.
What?
Right.
That's not... What?
As she does, Epiphany
I have
will
a
establish
thought.
a connection. We should keep in touch.
Indeed. I'm going to go in there acting as if I'm coming in for a drink, and I'm going to calmly scan the room to see what's inside. Just to get a better idea of, just to kind of glance over to catch faces. Anything that might... Sorry.
The bar itself is not as noisy as that other one was. It's more of a calm sort of things that people are seated talking quietly at various tables. You do notice that there is a man with a hood pulled over his head who is sitting at one table alone with his feet up on the table. And you can't tell what he is, but you do notice that there are probably 5 people of elven blood in this establishment, maybe 20 people altogether in the building, counting the barkeep.
Going to, I guess, take a seat at the bar counter and quietly motion for the barkeep to come over.
He comes over very quickly. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What can I get for you?
Something light. I feel like I need to be on my toes soon. A curiosity. Is this the normal sort that shows up every night?
Oh, yes. Pretty much the same clientele. Well, not him. I don't know him. He kind of nods casually at the man with his feet up on the table.
So he's new. Interesting. Any interesting rumors? And she'll slide I'm gonna double check my coinage here. I'm gonna slide over I'll slide over about 1 dragon.
Okay, give me a persuasion roll. He nods. He says, "Have you heard about the murders?"
Somewhat. I'm kind of a little bit troubled by that.
It's been terrible. They seem to be choosing the elven kind. You're lucky not to have any of that blood.
Alas, though I have a few friends who do. That'd be troubling if something happened to them, of course.
Yeah, keep an eye out wherever you go. Maybe it's just coincidence that he's picked on them with elven blood, but miss, be careful wherever you go.
I know this is going to sound highly strange, and she'll slide over another dragon. Has any of your patrons hit any rough patches? Any spots of bad luck? They're looking to potentially change their fortune.
Oh, aye, there's ones that come through to drink their troubles away when things go bad in their lives. That's not uncommon in a place like this.
How true. My apologies. I guess I guess anyone who's who's really looking to change their lives around. I'm looking to hire someone for a business venture. I figured, what better place to come here than one such place like this.
Well, you might talk to Eldon over there, and he kind of nods at a table that's over in the corner that has two elves sitting at it, chatting. He says, you might talk to Eldon. I know he's been a bit down on his luck and trying to see what he can find.
I will definitely do so. Thank you so much. The drink, please?
Ah, yes.
And how much do I owe you?
5 silvers, and it'll be right here, miss. Right here. And he hurries off to get it and brings it back and sets it down, along with actually a cloth napkin and a few things. A little bit more elegance in this particular tavern.
Ooh, thank you. I'm going to recant everything that I have just learned back to Epiphany, and mention that I am keeping an eye on the hooded figure that is still sitting here.
You watch for some time. Are you going to get up and talk to Eldon or just stay in your seat?
Gonna wait about maybe 10 minutes and see what goes on. See if the hood is distinctly turning their head to look at anyone in particular before making my move on the one that I was told about.
Give me a perception roll.
Please don't fail me now. Yes.
You notice that whoever is under the hood creeps very subtly. His head is not moving sharply or rapidly. He's trying to move with very little movement. He is turning and studying. You even notice him at times glancing over you, but you can't see what's under the hood. He kind of looks sideways at you, but he is definitely studying each one of the people in the inn.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my move on the person that I got the name for. And I'll, oh boy. Hello, I've heard that you've run into a spot of downsided luck. I'm actually here to look to acquire and hire some people that might have useful skills for me. Come, how about we sit into a little bit someplace more private to speak? Like the corner over there.
He looks at his friend and kind of looks you up and down and he says, well, miss, I'll hear what you have to say, but I think I've already arranged for a problem to be taken care of.
Really now? And what sort of problem might that have been?
Well, I wound up taking out a loan in desperation, and I wasn't able to pay it off, but I believe that I've found a source to help me out with that.
How fascinating. How much did you owe?
He looks kind of embarrassed. Well, it's not easy for a man to admit, but I was so stupid. I wound up owing 7,000 dragons.
Darling, that's such a terrible thing to do. Taking out such a big loan like that. Are you sure that it has been taken care of?
Yes. Someone is going to pay it off for me.
Oh, sweet child. I think you really need to come with me now.
Miss, actually, I think I'd rather stay here if you don't mind.
Look, I'll be perfectly blunt. I have a funny feeling you've painted a very large target on your back. I might be able to get you out of it if you just come with me.
It's not suspicious at all.
No, of course not. This giant lizard with a giant weapon on their back saying, "You better come with me right now."
I don't want to see you end up like the others in the alley. And not in part of it, but give me, guys. Trust me on my wording, please. I don't want to see you end up like that. I'm not the one doing them, but I think I might know who. But in order to make sure that you don't end up like them, you should come with me. Believe me, I will get you to safety.
Give me a persuasion roll, and I'm trying to decide if it's going to be normal at this bench, because this guy's frankly very worried that you want to knocker him out of this tavern and put a hole in his head. Just give me a straight persuasion roll.
Yep, dice rolls will fail me now. Or not.
Hey.
Not bad. Even at disadvantage is not bad.
I know, that's all like, the dice rolls don't fail me now.
And it'd be a high DC.
He says, well...
Yeah, I know.
I suppose so. I guess I will go with you. Please, miss, please, if you're anything to do with the groups I owe, I really am trying to pay it back. I've arranged for your money.
I'm not. And I'm just trying to help you. I'm being completely honest with you at this point.
He finally nods after a moment thinking it over. He finally nods and stands up. And when you stand up and turn around, the man with his feet on the table has left.
I'm just going to keep myself close to him, one arm ready to remove the shield if needed, and I'm going to let Epiphany know the target has moved. And give the full description of what he looked like, with the fact that he was wearing a hood.
And then he will he will speak that in a hushed tone to Terrell and whoever else is in.
Cashin.
Yeah, Terrell and Cashin.
Tell her to bring him down the alley.
Are you able to bring him down the alley so that we may witness?
Well, I'm not sure where he moved, but let's see what I can do.
And I'll just coax him to follow me, but keep close. And I'm going to basically just talk about the business opportunities that he could have, but also keeping
my arm over his shoulder like a friend would, and just kind of keeping my hand on the back of his head. Kind of, I'm not sure how to describe it. It's basically just like block.
You're trying to shield his head.
Basically, yeah. But make it not look super obvious that that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I am just super friendly Dragonborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the friendly Dragonborn who has done everything threatening possible.
I was not threatening. You guys took it as threatening. I was not threatening.
She was just trying to be persuasive. But I'm pretty sure that toothy mug of hers didn't. I'm pretty sure that toothy lizard-like mug of hers didn't help.
Look, I'm just saying. I'm not sure how I would feel about someone saying, "I don't want you to end up like the others," and then putting their hand on the back of my head.
Yeah, you're going to be just like the others.
I mean, she's a Dragonborn. She may not know how
intimidating she is by nature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragonborn Sander, she's like super
She doesn't know how warm bloods. She doesn't know how warm bloods work.
I mean, considering that her scales are also black, which doesn't speak very highly of her type.
Yeah.
Now you're going to usher this very scared half elf into a dark alley.
I'm gonna keep voice low and whisper to him, "My friends are waiting nearby. I took the initiative to come in and see who's the potential target. I found you, and now I'm going to get you out of here. Please just continue to trust me."
Okay, Eldon, actually his name is Eldar, or it was Eldon, but it's Eldar.
Is that with an H?
Yes.
I couldn't hear it, but just wanted to be sure.
Alright, so let me set up what it would look like when you are coming out of the bar and into the alley.
Oh no, there's the image prepared.
I figure also just height-wise, it'd be easier for Nakri to like completely body shield this dude. Like it's just like I'm just picturing. I'm like, yeah, at her height, she probably would be able to give with big shield at this point. Hooray for armor!
Hooray for meat shield!
Yeah, basically.
Alright, now the rest of you, as you are in these back alleyways, there are a number of openings and alleyways going off in various directions. You also notice that, like the other bar, there are zigzag tenement ladders on the outside of buildings, like escape ladders and so forth, that go up above you. Exactly how are you going to be positioning yourselves in regard to this alley where she'll be coming down from the bar?
Given that that she said that the potential target has already left the bar, Cashin's going to hide. He's going to go up into one of the stairways and hide.
All right. So you're going to stay up off the ground. Where are the rest of you situating yourselves?
Epiphany finds the closest pile of trash and dives into it and makes himself look like a pile of trash.
Pretty easy.
We will remember that statement.
Hey, he's the one that looks like he's the one that drapes himself with a sail.
Hey, it's clean now, though.
And not for long.
We will remember your opinion.
OC opinion.
We will still remember it.
Anyways.
And Rel.
Relian would probably be further back into the alley, probably hiding in probably like a nook or maybe a divot in the alley that would give him cover, but also allow him to see. He's using his cloak, his blue cloak, to blend in, which, fun fact, actually blends into the night a lot better than black does. Go figure. But and keeping his eye on the entrance of the alley, as well as occasionally looking upwards, because he doesn't trust the roofs. They're always thinking. They're always plotting something.
All right. Time to pull the ribbon to the new location.
Whee!
Top of the map, upper right corner.
All right.
I have Epiphany. There's boxes and trash back in this location and there where I've got you, so put Epiphany in which pile of trash he would be buried in.
I cannot see the... Oh, there it is. Oh, it's an actual freaking map. Okay, cool.
Yay!
So do I roll for stealth?
Yeah,
We already did.
He's gonna be
that's
in
true.
This one.
We all got fairly decent stealth rolls. I'm surprised.
But would it be a deception because I'm trying to be trash?
No.
Oh, you got a decent. you got a reasonably decent stealth roll. You've hidden down in there, and you just look like a tarp buried amongst the other stuff that's in there.
Sorry, Apo. That's
try to look as much as trash as possible underneath.
All right. I need each of the three of you, the ones hiding, to give me a perception roll, please.
Bird's eye view.
Yeah. And that makes the most sense. Cashin hears coming from the southwest of him. He hears a very slight sound of a loose tile.
Ooh, Cashin Cashin looks to that direction.
Let's see what our distances are here. You look through the darkness in the roofs and you can't really spot anything, and when the sound was made, it stopped very suddenly, as if, unnaturally so, as if whatever made it realized that it had made noise and had very quickly stopped moving. So something seems a little suspicious off towards the southwest of you.
All right, so Cashin's gonna try and signal someone. Just nothing big.
Who are you trying to signal?
Probably Epiphany.
Is Epiphany looking up out of his trash pile?
He shoves a few roaches into it for later, but he is looking at to where he thinks everybody is.
So when you say that, you mean where Heldar and Nokri are, or where Cashin?
No, he's trying to. He tried to position himself in such a way so that if he needed to, he could reestablish, basically kind of reestablish connection. So like if Cashin signals him, he's going to try to establish a connection, get the message, and then pass it around.
All right. So would Cashin be able to talk to you without you saying something first?
I think I'm still technically connected to Nokri.
Okay. All right.
So if he gives me like a secret wave or something.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do.
He can mentally talk to Nokri, so he's visually looking at like where Cashin or Rel are.
All right. So you see Cashin wave a hand or give an indication that there was a sound down there in the way that I described. So who is going to do what? What are your plans on proceeding with this?
Epiphany will point out that information to Nokri.
And what will Nokri do?
Guard Duty 101 instinct is to take him someplace else. No, don't go down there.
Use them as bait. sky.
Worst comes to worst, you can shield him with your back, which has a shield on it.
Yeah, I guess I'll keep bringing him towards the group, but still being, but kind of in a.
Act natural. You will be fine.
Yeah, I'll keep doing that.
We are here. Do not worry.
Words that you should believe never.
I mean, considering.
We will never abandon you and watch you get eaten in an alley.
Okay. So I need to know where you're moving. Are you moving straight down?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess she's just I guess what I'll be doing as Nakri is boastfully telling him about potential business opportunity that she has for him, how she's looking for someone who knows his ways around with the ships to kind of just like boastfully talking about big plans that she would have him work with.
And you're moving, but you're moving steadily along on this alleyway as you do this?
Yeah, not super. I guess kind of steadily, just not like super quick. It's just more like, you know how like when you see like two people just
slow walk.
Yeah.
Okay, so after a few minutes go by, you would continue on down that way?
Yeah. But she's just quietly, I guess, giving him the look of just act naturally and follow my lead type thing. It just breathe.
Cashin is going to try and stealthily make his way further towards the source of the noise. He's going to crawl along the roof.
All right.
Ooh.
Going to distribute his weight so he can be more quiet.
Ninja man.
Give me a perception roll again, please. I've got to determine something. You notice an individual with a dark cloak that is moving towards you from the southwest across the roofs.
Cashin readies his rapier and his crossbow.
As I'm going to move you, Nakri, you keep moving up, and about the time you get even with Epiphany in the alleyway, things happen. There is a sudden sound that all of you notice. Somebody suddenly makes a quick move. Cashin actually sees the individual that he's been watching make a quick move and jump up in the air, and he seems to hang mid-air over the alleyway. I'll put him, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to open up the thing just a bit more here so that you can see more of this. He actually is back more like here. He literally jumps off the roof into midair and hangs there for a moment. He pulls out something from his cloak and he fires at the elf that is alongside Nakri.
My main held action was the second I heard any noise, I would throw myself in front of him.
He misses, and there is the sound of the only thing you can describe. First of all, there is a sound, loud puffing sound that could be described like the sound of someone hitting a drum. And suddenly, right by your head, Nakri, there is a large hole that is knocked in the wall right by where you're standing. This creature, whatever it is, then proceeds to lightly land from this mid-air position, and he looks like he is going to try and retreat.
At this
Roll
point,
for initiative.
Where's my sheet?
And I actually had to roll him twice because I forgot to click his token.
My token.
So he actually
I
had
only like
11.
one better than I had last. You can change it to the 12 or the 13, whatever's easier. I forgot to select my token, but the roll wasn't that much better.
Oh,
what are you doing here?
I wanted to be included too in this game.
You made your choice.
You followed them here.
He comes in on this horse and just charges right into the
That's what it is. Hi-ho Silver. Hi-ho Maxine, no way.
Go
Okay.
Wondercloth.
So do you want to be included?
That was just for jokes.
No, we don't need a healer.
Next session, none of us need to show up. It's just gonna be
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That, I wait for my solo game next week.
Yeah, pretty much. And
How
Cashin's
fun.
got a solo one too. Let's see, we got all of our.
Now, see, me and Epi, we're good teammates. We include you guys and stuff.
Sorry, I walked off by myself. My plan was a solid one, and it worked.
No, you were
participating with the group. Unlike
you
some
were
people,
participating
like
in the
new
group.
guy who wants to join us.
Yeah, he's gonna be all edgy and solo.
You know, just because he's ripping off Aurelian's unseen hood bit, he thinks he's all edgelord and can do whatever he wants.
I am
he's
the
just
complete opposite of being edgy as well. So this is just double funny.
Okay, so Epiphany has the first non-surprise round move.
Epiphany is going to.
Do we get surprise rounds?
No,
he did.
He got the surprise.
Epiphany is going to bring up one of his huge hands, lift 2 fingers, and just catapult the heaviest thing that it can catapult like 5 pounds of trash right at the guy's head.
Got a Darth Vader right at his head. Okay, so dex save.
Probably gonna succeed, but it's the best I got right now.
I mean, you could try.
Oh yeah, he succeeded and then some. He almost crit succeeded, and he's got a lot of dex.
So the trash
you see him like do backflips and side flips, almost Matrix-like. He just jumps and flips out of the way of the flying garbage.
That makes me really want to shoot.
We do not like it, and so Epiphany just explodes from the trash and takes his full movement on all 4s.
Brilliant. You can't even see this thing very well.
No, but I can change that. I'm going to use my full movement to get. Oh, cool. It's not Snaplock. Cool. So he's going to burst out of where he was hiding, and now is not the time for chance. So Aurelian's just going to throw his hands out, fingers pointed at this ne'er-do-well, and says, "Feel the power of the bosom!"
The what?
Okay, so some magic missile firecrackers firing back at him, which sounds similar to what you were hearing from this guy. And 3, 8, 11.
Hey, that's the same one Epi would have gotten.
Hey.
No, don't feel bad. Oh, I feel bad now.
What is Nokri going to do?
I'm trying to think. My options are limited. I'd have to do a full dash, which wouldn't leave me with any actions to at least get somewhat close to this guy.
You could charge into him like you did that orc.
Yeah, but then, like I said, I would be short because it's 60 feet of movement, and I wouldn't be able to reach him.
Do you have any range?
Yeah, but if she dashes, she doesn't have an action.
Yeah.
You can move and be ranged.
Yeah, well, I've only got one thing at range. Let's see.
Long by Epiphany there.
No, actually, it wouldn't reach at all. It's 7 feet too short. Actually, hold on a second. What am I smoking? I forgot I had a light crossbow.
Well, I got the purple. I got the purple dragon here, but some people like the Hawaiian sunrise, so.
I am going to continue to watch after my charge, and I'll just shoot the crossbow, which will totally miss, but that's okay, because I'm not proficient with that crap at all.
So are you moving up and shooting it, so you have a chance of? Are you in range where you're now?
I'm in range shooting where I'm at.
Okay.
It's just my roll suck that.
Yeah,
so
that misses, and it bounces.
Hey, you're not good with that spell either.
Bounces off some of the buildings beside him. Cashin.
Yeah, I'm not.
Cashin is going to strategically make his way off the roof onto the other side of this alleyway and lie in wait, hopefully, and gonna hold action.
All right, the individual. Let me take the whole hidden thing off, so we don't have to keep it. Yeah, I'm going to take it all off. So we can just... Alrighty, he dashes, well, he didn't dash, but he runs across this way. Let's see from there, let me see how far he can get on his regular movement. He runs across to about there. And he turns and, okay, so have you got a ranged held action?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
use your action. That's a miss. He moves again with this just dexterous flip and twist as he moves that just seems almost superhuman. And as he gets to...
Since Cashin is still stealth right now, the guy doesn't know he's there. Wouldn't that be with advantage?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we didn't actually. I'll just say, yeah, you're stealth and you do have advantage, so you do that. Because we didn't actually do a stealth off to see if he saw you. So I'll just say that he didn't. So he takes another 7.
Aim for the legs!
He stops for a moment, and he points a thing that looks like a piece of pipe in the direction of Relian Epiphany. And then he does something, and he stuffs it back in his cloak and decides instead to turn and start running again. So he moves another 30 feet away. And you see him, as he's doing that, his hands are moving, trying to do something. Which he's fumbling with things. Epiphany.
That bitch is reloading.
Shh, we don't know that yet.
Hold on.
This is OC anyways, so yeah.
You're breaking my immersion.
You have no face, what immersion?
Oh.
You started it.
Epiphany will This is a well, I'm assuming.
Yes, it's a fountain sort of thing. But yeah, well.
15. Yeah, he's just gonna take the dash action.
Brilliant.
Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Relian's going to move here. And And he's going to thrust out his hands again. And he's just going to yell, "Time to teach you that racism is bad, okay?"
That's a 12.
That is 12 damage. You hear a loud yell when he takes the 12.
Question. Would it be all possible to subtract that 3, and instead of hitting him with it, would it be possible for me to send it up into the air like a flare, hopefully to attract the attention of some guards?
Yes, I'll let you do that.
Okay, great. So yeah, so he just takes 9 damage, and the 3 gets sent up into the air to attract the guards' attention.
Very good. And it is Nakri's turn.
I am going to look at the individual, tell him to run back into the tavern and call for the guards, and I will take off after everyone else. This is pretty much just get back inside the tavern, call the guards, and yeah, I gotta go help my friends.
His eyes are really big, and he just nods, looks at you, looks at what's going on, and turns tail and runs for the main street and the tavern. So he cooperates very quickly, yes.
40. I'm gonna be behind, but I can get to about here.
You can hear yelling going on behind you on the street. Obviously, he's yelling, other people are yelling, there's a lot of noise going on.
Yeah, okay.
Alrighty. So, are you firing anything or doing anything?
I double dashed, I can't.
Okay, Cashin.
Well, Cashin is going to dash, and he doesn't have to worry about losing an action because...
Very good.
So he's going to catch up to him.
Stab him!
And he is going to... Yeah, he's going to stab him.
Stabby. Okay,
Damn.
Not with the 7, he's not. The guy again does that just amazing lithe ability to move, almost like he's blowing in the wind. He's quite amazing. And
Everyone, he's got no bones!
Yeah, he's certainly amazing.
He turns
A
around.
little ballerina.
He turns around, and I gotta see how many attacks he makes. Yeah, he has pulled out 2 scimitars, or a single scimitar, and he slashes twice with it at you. Woo! Ouch! He crits, and he hits on both of them. One of them is a crit. The total damage is 18.
And Cashin's down again.
I really wish we had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been nice if a healer had come along. Gee, would have been so nice if a healer.
What was the reason you switched characters, Gore?
To heal?
Yeah.
But you see, this horse is important for me, though.
This is more important.
Midnight. You're not going to find the horse or the driver at midnight.
I'm gonna be honest, Gore. You might have screwed the pooch on this one.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm feeling all the healing here.
I also do remember saying that if it wasn't for Epiphany saying that I am not friend, I probably would have offered.
Oh, be the bigger person.
I mean, that's impossible since Epiphany's the bigger quote-unquote person.
And he continues to run away since Cashin's down. He doesn't have to worry about being stabbed. He pulls back again. He's trying to get away. From behind you, you hear whistles, like police whistles sort of things, and you hear the sound of boots thumping down the alley behind you. Sounds like the guards are arriving.
From behind us?
Yeah, coming from the main street.
Okay, I'm gonna... Yeah, I'd probably would tell Relian to keep going on ahead. I'll let the guards know who's what.
Epiphany.
Is it my turn, or is it still his turn?
Just a moment, my thing. For some reason, Roll20's not cooperating.
I was gonna say it's Roll20, but...
Can't seem to pick up these tokens on any layer that I go to. Let me zoom in on this and find out where they went. Did they wind up on a map layer or something? Trying to figure out why I can't pick them up. There should be a whole bunch of these guys, and I can't seem to get them. Okay, they're not on that layer. Okay, there we go. It's getting down to where they should be. So there can be a whole force of guys coming down the alleyway. Still missing some of it. There we go. Now we're good. All right. Relian would notice that there are 5 men, one of whom looks like an officer type that is quick marching down the alleyway and is yelling, "Halt! Halt! In the name of the City Watch!" Alrighty, Epiphany's turn.
I can't. I'm just shy of being able to get. If I could just get around him. Epiphany. We're about to run out of map here.
With a dash, and if you just angle around him, you might be able to get behind him.
I can be in front. I can get behind him, but I need my action. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the big problem here.
Distance was a bit of an issue. If he had stopped him before he got too far, that would have been better.
I mean, I can get one. I can get this on him. So Epiphany is going to rush right here, and then under the light post, Nakri and Relian see him like pull the cloak away, and these black tendrils whip out in a circular motion. So I would need a strength save from him, or he'll get knocked 10 feet into the wall.
If anything, force him to drop the you-know-what.
And your EC is 13. He just beats it.
So he takes half.
Okay, so he takes 5. And the soldiers round the corner. Boom, 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 boom. They would be able to get just at the corner here. And a couple of them got views, and do you signal or anything who you're chasing?
Relian would throw his arm out, point to the drow, and just shout, "Murderer! Murderer!"
We don't know if that's a drow.
Is he wearing a mask?
We just know it's hooded.
He's completely hooded.
Oh well, he would just point at the figure, very clearly not Epi, and just shout, "Murderer! Murderer!"
The three that are in view will raise their crossbows and fire at you. We've got a couple of hits there. One hit. Oh, only one hit. Okay, but that's for 9. He takes 9. Okay. Relian, what are you doing next?
Question. Silent Image says conjure something within a 15 by 15 cube. So long as they're within a 15 by 15 cube, could I theoretically summon multiple images of creature, like 2 images of a creature?
I don't believe that's as intended. I believe it's supposed to be an image.
Okay, that's fair enough. Relian's going to, let's see, how close can I actually get? That looks like a good place. Relian's going to get up here, and because I think his attention is not focused behind him, Relian's just going to call out, "We have you surrounded now, murderer!" and conjure up. He's going to conjure up a image of a very large, maybe even half-orcish guard that he may have seen in the guard before with his many runs in with him, like just big, burly, mean-looking guard right behind him with weapon brandish, snarling down at the murderer.
Okay, so like somewhere along here?
Just somewhere cutting off his escape.
Okay, he's in a kind of an open area there, so it's hard to block anything, but we would be able to at least make him think there's somebody else there.
Maybe right behind him, then.
Maybe make it look like he's coming from this direction or something.
Yeah. Yeah, alright, that's fair, yeah.
I think I can do this. I think I can do this.
So is that about where you wanted him?
Yeah, just blocking off one of his methods of escape. Cashin, block the other one.
Cashin's down.
Oh shit, that's right.
Not great.
Yeah, I'll stop him with my still corpse.
Stop him with your mind, Epi could.
Are you knocked unconscious or like dead?
Unconscious.
Okay, I'm making. There's a difference. I'm making sure.
He's death saving, but he's down.
Question though, if I was to get up next to Epiphany, could I action surge and tackle this dude?
If you haven't used, let's see, action service is a bonus, right?
No, it's an additional action.
Second action. Okay, yes.
I mean, it gets you within 5 feet. If you dash and use action surge, you would be able to get within 5 feet of him.
So, but I would be able to at least either grapple or tackle.
Yes. By using your action surge, yes, you would be able to get in range and still use an action.
Sweet. So I will do exactly that. I will get there, which is where I measured out it would be, and then I will, once of course, for the chat, pop action surge and grab this dude.
Try to grapple him. Okay.
I'm not sure which would be easier. Would it be grappling or just like knock him to the ground?
Athletics grapple him. Just catch him.
That's what I'm hoping for.
He's gonna be. Either way. He's gonna be able to use acrobatics, and he's probably trained in it. But doesn't matter. Give it a shot.
I know.
I mean, if his nimbleness is anything to go by.
So just roll the athletics then.
Yeah, and I will tell you he'll be using athletics against you.
Oh!
Yes!
Yes.
That is very good.
If you beat this, I call hacks.
Right. Can't hear you.
I know. He has, like, he is out the wazoo with ability on athletics. And he rolled a 6. Do not run this.
Oh, he crit failed. Yes, it was meant to be.
He crit failed. He is not only grappled, but he is down on the ground.
Touchdown. We need to get you the charger feet, man.
Relian just throws his hands up in the air and shouts, "Goal!"
This guy has so many
Cashin were conscious.
powers that way. Yeah. Okay, so
wait, that's even better. Cash in the unconscious.
he is down. He is down. Cashin, give me a death save.
Nat 20. Nat 20.
Oh, man.
And
That's
18.
horrible to say.
Save.
Yeah, good saving, right?
Look good.
All right. This guy is going to give one attempt to try and break this grapple that he's got.
Do I have to re-roll my athletics, or?
Not with that. No, he rolled even worse.
Yeah.
He tried to do just a Plato strength, just roar and get up, and it failed miserably. Epiphany, you've got it, and then the guards are probably going to be arriving here.
Epiphany is going to stand is going to move around this way on him, and he's just going to load a crossbow, crank it, and then point it at his eyeball.
And coming from up the alleyway, you hear a familiar voice, Captain Statchett, who is yelling,
No, this works in our favor, because we were actually doing a business deal
Hold!
with the guy who attacked.
"Hold that! Do not shoot! That man is our prisoner!" And they come trump, 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 trump at double speed march up, and they've got their crossbows pointed at him and a bit at the group of you, warning you off, basically. Thump, 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 thump.
I'm not going to let go, but I am going to very politely go, Captain, I will happily hand him over if you could tend to my man since he is down at the moment.
Yeah, Relian's rushing over to Cash and doing everything he can just to stem the bleeding, like putting maybe some of his cape over the wound, stuff like that.
Stabilizing.
Epiphany shifts his target away from the head to the guy's left leg.
No, Epi, what did I tell you? Aim for the groin.
But without an Achilles tendon, he will not be able to walk.
Without his groin, he won't want to live.
Exactly. We want him to live and answer.
Boys, now is not the time to argue semantics. We're helping the guards here. After all, we were the ones attacked while doing a business deal.
We were.
Captain, this murderer went after not only our business associate, but our dear half-elven friend Cashin here. You should have seen it. It was horrible. He screamed like a girl.
I am trying to summon my untapped psychic powers to smack you.
Would that trigger another death save for that burn damage?
That's terrible. He's been stabilized, however, by Relian, I believe, so he doesn't have to death save. But...
You're welcome.
Cashin just opens his eyes and goes, "Oh crap, it's you."
Yeah.
I thought it was
Let me go unconscious again.
DCC, I told you, we're best friends besides Epi.
I think I'd rather die.
Yeah. I will call it here. We went way over, but I'm going to call it here. Next week we will take up with this. They will take basically all of you into custody to find out what's going on and see what this guy is doing and why. And we will finally give the shepherd a chance tomorrow morning to go out and try to find a horse, of course.
At
Tomorrow morning,
midnight.
Wouldn't this be at the same time that they were doing this stuff?
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that the guy who lost the horse and everything, you're out in the middle of the night, and that's not when he's out trying to do his rounds. But I'll do it in the middle of the night if you want. It's just that you're probably not going to find many people on a horse.
If I was going to do it in the morning, I would have just been here to begin with.
So my question stands, why weren't you?
Guys,
Because I was going to do it right away at night.
And I kept saying at the beginning, you're not going to find much at midnight about a horse.
We get back and he's got tea and he's like, "You guys are late. Where have you been?"
Look, can we hurry this up? My cloak is starting to get bloody. I haven't worn red since I was a teenager, so.
Well, I'm going to leave it there with Cashin wrapped in your arms lovingly. And
don't. He strokes his hair. Don't worry, my pet.
Oh my god.
That's my pet. That's my pet.
oh my god.
You belong to me and Epi now.
Kellenvor, take me now.
And,
you are the third brother now.
Share your blood.
I will wish all of you good night. I hope enough people stuck around that we can get the count on affiliate. Thank you for coming and doing what you can. Sorry we ran long tonight. Thank you very much from Crone's Crucible. We very much appreciate all the help that you're giving us, and we are trying our best.
Bye, everybody. Remember, time you enjoy wasting isn't time wasted.
By the way, two fights.
Good night.